B. But some teams have opted to capture that A point. If C is looking like a dire choice, they will rotate a person to A so that the point lead isn't too catastrophic.
Absolutely. Well, we shall see. The Temple Garden will be fertilized with blood once more in this bad boy. Let's go ahead and maybe take a look pretty soon at what Twitch chat has predicted. I've made many wrong predictions myself. Gentlemen, coming into this one, before they even go up, what do you guys think? Humanist, you think Twitch chat is on the on Flask train on this one after that last game? Okay, take it easy.
I'm thinking Twitch chat predicts on Flask. On Flask is going to win. Better than you is not better than me. Is better than me.
Okay, all right. Very defensive for no real reason there. Thank you very much, Humanist. So, Hinky, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there were last-minute roster shakeups on the side of better than you, and honestly, with their roster that they had in the LCQ, I was thinking that they might have a chance to win the entire thing. But you know, obviously things didn't work out that way, and now they find themselves in the lower.
Here, but better than you. Maybe they put it together. They made it this far to the finals. Anything can happen when all the chips are on the table.
Anything can happen indeed, and I just have to say, starting out here, that if I can't cast someone called the Voodoo Gang, I'm definitely at least happy that I get to cast a player named.
Yeah, it feels kind of funny saying dude in there. There was another name I forget earlier, which was trolling me out a little bit. But whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, we are into look at just classic Temple Garden. Look how beautiful this map is, as well as all this beautiful hero armor. But we are under the tree of life over here, surrounded by the piranha koi pond. This Willem is ready to murder. The question is, which target's going to be waiting, biding his time on Flask. Have a couple of members that are dropping incredibly low. On the side, can they get taken down? I can't believe they're still alive. We're honest. He's actually going to win. He's alive. Oh, Flask is in. That means he can drop back. And as well. What an insane turn of events. Willem bowing.
I mean, not only is he going to get those kills, he's going to get the revives. You just saw it there. Willem already almost on his tier 3 feet. That is ridiculous. Just letting those heavies fly. I mean, it felt like a desperation move, but those target swap heavies took them out so easily, and then the dodge attack and finally close out that fight. Willem just with the absolute clutch.
Woo! You love to see it. Better than you. What are you going to do? You're down a couple of points early on. You recollect yourself. You're not controlling one of the main points, A and C. They've got B. Pretty classic. It's been ignored by On Flask for now. So, with reinforcements, Joker moves over into C. Mio wants to go ahead and go for his ally, but in doing so, he just takes more damage. This stuff, you look like better than you can even really connect. It's just massive damage coming out from Willem, and they're really ignoring him for the most part. Now Mio swings, Young Gravity, dropping low. We get a nice target swapping to go ahead and dodge back, keeps himself out of danger. Swings for Young Gravity, doesn't quite connect there. Willem finally getting low, but Willem able to take one. Cordona drops down to Gothic Noir on the map. Willem gets his tier 3 feet unlocked as well. Can't believe it. This is insane. Better than you. 3 heroes dead on the map. Can you make it 4? Can you make it 4? No, it's not going to be 4 dead at the same time. And Mio taking down Young Gravity. Of course, Mio eventually getting taken down by Willem. And this is just absolutely insane as Willem picks up Young Gravity.
It's possible that's the fastest tier 4 we've ever seen. Willem sitting already on tier 4, just playing absolutely out of his mind. People think of JJ as the hero that dodges a lot, but they added those dodge cancels into the Jean move, and just a lot of safe offense, especially up against the JJ there, playing so well as Willem. 5-0 already.
God, that's insane. 5-0, really. I don't really know which. Oh, look at the raining fire arrows down on this bridge. That's interesting. Willem was like, yeah, just come across it. It's split up better than you, but not a lot of devastating damage coming out here. Now, Duty, you're in the wrong place, buddy. Verdonis will throw out a nice zone there, trying to feel for his ally. But Duty, I felt like he was going to get out of there, but they don't control me. So there's nowhere to rotate out to heal to. They're also just going to stick around and just fight to their death. No matter what happens. Willem, one more attack. He almost gets taken down there. Willem stays alive. Young Gravity takes down Duty. Willem takes down Gordonis. I mean, on Flask are on point.
Yeah, using that tier 3 and tier 4 early, very smart, I think, for him. Just like, hey, I got this early. I might as well use it. You know, it's not necessarily something I need to close the game out with, especially because it's going to be up again when it's later on in the game. And on Flask, they've just maintained control of both of these points so well. There's just nowhere for the side of BTU to heal. Finally, they're able to all move out together and retake B. And I have to imagine, yeah, they're just going to death ball over to one of these points. No, actually splitting up, so deciding that they're going to try and take these 2v2s as their way to get back into the game. But if things go the way they've been going, Willem's just going to tear them apart on C. Have to imagine this is just going to go the same way.
Yeah, Willem has just like turned himself into the Temple Garden boss. Basically, point C is a dungeon, and you're gonna have to raid yourself over here, put on a clinic if you're gonna try and take this guy down, because this is his home point. Pilker getting pounded on here will have his revenge triggered off, but you could see that on Flask was basically like, look, it doesn't matter if his revenge triggers off, just keep hitting the guy. They're able to get the kill, and of course, who's gonna take it? It's gonna be Willem. He's gonna get the execute, and this is just on Flask marching their way in game 1 towards a just pounding of a victory.
I don't think we've seen a game plan executed this well all day. This is ridiculous. Just they have not let go of these points. You know, they picked this map early on for a reason. They believe their 2v2 to be stronger, and they're proving it fight after fight. Literally 0 objectives taken on the side of BTU. Only 2 takedowns as the highest, and Willem sitting up at the top of the board. 760 renown, 8-0. What a beast.
That's just absolutely phenomenal. And looks like C taken just for a second by Better Than You. But at this point, they're put into breaking. 2 heroes incredibly low. The worst time to be sitting on 5 HP. But Better Than You are doing it. And they're staying alive for a second. Ooh, a nice slip out to the side by Mio, who hasn't really got a lot of work done, unfortunately. Looks like they're going to be the first to fall. Julie is going to go down. Mio, that's all she wrote here in match number 1. Take a second. Go ahead and test on Phil. On Flask. That was insane.
They didn't even have time to maybe talk about the next game. You know, sometimes when you're in those breaking scenarios and you're 2-4 or something, you're like, all right, guys, just anti-gang for a second. Let's talk about what we did wrong. No, they were decapitated so fast, they probably didn't even have time to talk about what they did wrong. So they're going to have to regroup real hard. That was complete domination for Flash.
Yeah, totally. I don't think we didn't even have the opportunity to bring in Vivid Nos for our in-game expert questions, but there you have it. Look at this Willem, 11-0 plus taking in himself an objective. 9-2 for Young Gravity, Fusion at 8-1, more at 8-0. It's insane that we have multiple players with over 8 kills, and it felt like we're watching Willem just destroy everyone by himself.
Yeah, casually, Willem just has 800 more renown than the top player on BTU. I mean, I've seen that in matchmaking. I think that's definitely the first time I've seen that in tournament play. That's as best as you could perform. That's ridiculous.
I guess BTU is their team name is directed at Twitch chat and the casters. They're better than you, not better than on Flask.
I mean, every player on BTU is definitely better than me. I'm regularly given the business in matchmaking. As one person in Twitch chat once said, but BTU, man, I don't really know exactly what one thing I would point to that they need to do better. They just got picked apart the entire match. I think what they really needed to do, honestly, after they take a beat when they were all full health, they needed to death ball onto one of those group of 2s so they could have ganked it. They decided to try and break off into those 2s, and that's how they were losing the game the whole time. So I think that was maybe if they find themselves in a similar situation, that's the thing they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty creative. I feel like I could watch that game 3 times and still not come up with a way for them to try and make them competitive. But we're going into our second map here in just a second, and they've had a second to recoup themselves. But you know, I just don't know what will happen, especially on Citadel Gate. Vivinos, tell us all about Citadel Gate and what we might expect it.
Watching on Flask's performance there, very much reminded me of being the opposite side of that in my matchmaking lobbies. Not really much to take away from there apart from on Flask. Willem played absolutely exceptional. I feel like BTU really need to do something to suppress this player. When it comes to Citadel Gate, it will be a lot more about team fighting. Alluding to what Sahinki said, probably Death Falling is maybe your best bet. Your 2v2 matchups aren't really up to par against on Flask and the level of veterans that they have on that team. So hopefully BTU can claw back something in this game, or maybe just let on Flash run away.
Man, maybe just let on Flash run away with it. Vivinaz, I'm glad you're not the team captain over here because that doesn't seem like a winning strategy. And talking about winning strategies, I think the number one strategy is get money, get paid. Look at this prize pool. This is delicious. $20,500 for grabs here in the North American Dominion Series Finals. First place, $10,000. Second place, $5,000. And we're trying to figure out right now who's going to be walking away with that $3,500 in their pocket. On Flask looking pretty good for that. I mean, this is really nice. So this is a lot of money coming out over here, and it's great to see it here for the Dominion Series.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see some incentive for players to get into the competitive scene. You know, I think some of the coolest players hang out in sort of the competitive, because they all really support each other. When you watch other esports, a lot of these teams, they don't like to share their secrets and stuff, but these teams, they're regularly scrimming together. They're, they have watch parties when other teams are scrimming because, it's really just a big friendly community of people that love this game and want to see it played at the highest level. So I hope more people are incentivized when they see this prize pool to get in here and try out competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. I really hope some of our viewers are inspired today to maybe take it up a notch, spend a little more time practicing, and get into the next competitive event for Honor. And let's go ahead and refocus here. Points A, B, and C respectively across the map. This is a wide open map. B, so influential, so Inky, as you talked about earlier, a lot of points to gain by holding B here. And eventually we will see some backgabbing. I don't know if B is going to have a chance. Let's look early on. We got to take a decent speed fight here, at least at the first engaging for BTU. Last, we're on point. Right now, we're seeing Fusion on the edge of the fight. Moving in, almost taking down Neo, thinking about target swapping. Swaps. On Light, will he be able to connect with Neo over here? Young Gravity low off to the side. There you go. Fusion's going to take himself forward. Donis now moving back. It's Gothic Noir taking down Duty. Rip Duty. Pilker, he's low. He's got Willem out of stamina. Willem, he can just hang over here. The minions aren't doing too much damage to him. With that, he can just go ahead and drop right back and heal on up.
I have to imagine this is called just because they feel so confident, but normally this move from Willem wouldn't be so slow. Citadel Gate finds himself at half-life coming in, but they did win that fight very convincingly. I want to point out the clear communication that these guys have. We saw that one bash come in from Vayne Nuir, and they must have called it out because as soon as the bash landed, 3 players turned on Neo, took him from 100 down to about half-life. That's just one of these results that the team fight is so good on the side of On
On Flash, doing work right now. It's Neo low. Gordonis is low as well. And Fusion looks like he's going to get chopped down as a nice head that comes over the top. Actually connecting to guess what? It's Gothic Noir. He's here to play. And it should be a matter of time after the guard break. Wall splat. Little damage coming through. Gordonis, nice combo up onto Gothic Noir, but it feels like just a matter of time before he's going to get chunked down. Does get kicked from behind. That's going to trigger off the revenge. And Gordonis is like, oh, come on, man! Why would you do that? That's exactly what I just told my team now. These guys, they're good at For Honor. They're comedy as well. What a funny situation to be in. Gothic Noir back against the wall. Tier 3 feet unlocked already. And he thought he was, Duty thought he was going to 1v1 with Gothic Noir. Fusion comes in like, nah, bud. Sorry, we're not playing honorably. We're playing for keeps. We're playing to win. Duty, little spinning roundhouse kick there. He's going to be stunned up. Comes through with the top. Fusion, he's got to kill another top hit. Come through with Pilker. You just stand your ground. There's not much you can do. Try to throw the zone or something. Oh my gosh. Fusion just letting these tops fly.
Now, man, better than you finding himself in the exact same situation as last map. Nowhere to heal. However, it looks as though they're challenging the home point of On Flask here, and this is a little bit of a bigger map, so this might be a little bit more successful as far as the retake goes, especially because Gotham finds himself so low right now. He's going to come through and land a little bit of damage onto Young Gravity, but already sitting over half revenge, so they're not going to want to touch him too many more times. Almost got the revenge now. This is turning into a problem here as Willem has come back into support. Another member from class joining the fight. Shinobi comes in with that revenge, finally triggered off. And now, Raider on Raider action, able to dodge that external heavy. Does land the guard break though. This is going to be a throw. But really good job from Neo there to hold Young Gravity off from being able to close that kill out. And now on Flask, he's finding himself behind a little bit. However, Vaynor coming in with the season on now. Kick onto Neo, and that is going to be a kill. It looks like Willem had revenge triggered off the backside of the fight. Vaynor holding duty back out, and now he's going to be forced to use that run and retreat. Not able to pursue his Vaynor because of the fact that he was out of stamina.
Just need to take a breath there. Fusion, speaking of out of stamina, is out of stamina as he comes into our screen, but it's Pilker who doesn't have the HP. It's Pilker who's getting murdered here. Fusion stuck up against the wall by Gordonis. You know, Gordonis is one of the guys that I feel is, well, I guess there's not a lot of impact coming out of him. I just felt like this Raider hasn't been landing as much as you'd like to see out of him. Willem comes in along with Neo and Gotham Noir showing up to the party as well. But you see, these fights are just really so long and extended, and at the same time, On Flask has control over everything else on the maps. It's just like, yeah, BTU, you can try and win these fights, but they're not even winning these fights that they're fully committing to.
Yeah, Willem getting guard broken on the backside of the fight. Vaynor finding himself low as well. Ooh, gonna actually miss the bow and gonna get guard broken for it. Gordonis is gonna close out the kill on Willem, and now finally, the side of better than you is.
Now I just gotta say,
of teams killing
players in
this game actually occurs. Take it away.
About to scramble some eggs up in here. TKS up against the Black Jackals, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a spicy one. Cluckies on this Warlord. We've seen it time and again, and it has really been impactful.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to Cluckies to come out strong here. He was shaky starting the last series, but honestly, it's hard to not be shaky when in the first initial team fight, 2 of your teammates get completely destroyed and ledged in the first, 30 seconds of the game. So, no opportunities for that here. We'll see if we can have Cluckies come out strong. It looks like they put him on middle, so interesting to see that they set him up in that 1v1.
Nice. Mo's got the easy cape on. You'd love to see it. And I'd love to see this be a bloodbath coming down to a 1v1. Typically not what we see. But early on, both teams playing this nice and slow, patient. It's Rippy who's taking a lot of damage. Not really great if you're the Shinobi. You'd like to dance around. Nice dodge out to the side there. He wants to isolate someone. He wants to draw them apart. Looks like Jafusa taking down Wheat. Clucky's falling as well. TKS getting mowed down a little bit, but standing their ground. Rippy needs to continue to hold on here and hopefully at least take 1 kill taking down Kusamago, but he's actually going to get the hug. That's Revenge procced off. Revenge should give Rippy enough time to just slice and dice, just throw some attacks, but the parry's there. Can he get it? He's got his tier 1 feet unlocked if he can get it. Oh, yeah, he's got a little bit of heal off the back of it. Scorpion getting kill as well. TKS, who were the first 2 heroes dropped on the map, take the C fight, and that's incredibly important.
I want to highlight the play of Scorpion there. He used to do this quite a bit as Nobushi, but doing just as good of a job here on the JJ. He's very good at isolating heroes in the middle of a fight. We saw Mo completely isolated back out of the fight. You saw Kusamago panicking a little bit, trying to make sure he could come and back him up, because you don't want JJ to be on the very edge and zoned out. You want him to be in the middle of the fight with these big unblockables. So really well done from Scorpion to make sure that Mo couldn't have as much of an impact as they needed, and that's by the
Speaking of Mo isolated on the edge of the fight by Cluckies, who's just headbanging over here, giving him the headbutt. That's going to be the guard break into the top. Mo looking to target swap and to potentially apply some damage, but look at all these minions around. This is so hard to try and get anything done. Mo out of stamina, ledged up against the side there. Scorpion actually going to be the one to take the kill. Scorpion standing his ground for his team and playing with no fear as Rippy takes down Kasada Mago. And this is approximately 2 points lead here in the first 2.5 minutes of this game.
Really well played from Cookies there, isolating Mo again. I think this must be something that TKS has targeted. Like, hey, Mo's been having a lot of effect in these fights, especially earlier on today. Let's make sure that we can isolate him and minimize his effect. And I also want to shout out on the side of Black Jackals, the Shinobi player, using a PI there to make sure that he could just back out. He didn't lose too much. Definitely a veteran.
Watch Rippy as he gets onto Jafu here. A lot of damage coming out. Rippy, CGB back the other way. He'll go ahead and get a little storming tap, but it's not enough. This Shinobi is ready to deal damage. And Jafu wants to peel for his teammate, so he gets back in there trying to get around some minions. Or there's really nothing that he can do. I think you have to accept your fate, except unless you get an ally to come up, like Willin finds Rippy in a 1v1 off to the side. And if there's going to be anybody to take down Rippy, it's going to be Willin.
Doing a great job making sure that Rippy couldn't get away to heal. Lucky's getting an execution himself, though, but he's going to get pulled down by the Sickle Rain. This should be a kill on him. Yes, excellently executed there on the side of Black Jackal. Will in and now Scorpion here up against the gank of the Shinobi. Gets hit by the Sickle Rain. This might just be 100 to 0. No, they messed it up a little bit. I'm not sure why he went for the zone there. Maybe finding himself low on stamina. And now they'll be
yeah, or possibly we might have seen Rippy coming down. Either way, yeah, it looked like they might get 100 to 0. Scorpion does get caught out in 50 to 0 there, as he wasn't able to get any defense off. And with that, it leaves Rippy in a situation where he's slightly outnumbered, although his allies have made the rotate over there. And this is the whirlwind we know and love, getting these executes off on the Shinobi. And moving forward here, he's going to continue to apply pressure. So fast, so agile in and around these fights. Cluckies. He's going to go ahead and dodge back. Throws Willin up against the wall. He's out of stamina. It'll just take a second to go ahead and regroup himself. Jafu coming down the stairs as well. Go ahead and peel. And this is, Wheat playing a little bit quietly. Needs to have an impact on this Raider. We'll see if that's going to happen. Will Lin over here has his eyes on him. Actually, Will Lin, he wants Cluckies. What's going to happen? Jafu finally getting his stamina back up. Stamina as well. But with the guard break, that'll be the kill. That'll be the execution. There it goes. Ahead, buddy.
Fight late now, and this is a very important life here with 2 teammates dead on the side of PKS. Kick's gonna come through, confirming the heavy, confirming another heavy. He had revenge for a second there, and now Rippy is holding on to this point. It's relatively even, but Black Jackals have come back very, very strong here, maintaining control of A this entire time, and now they're gonna be executing the double. Able to get out of it is Rippy. Trying to stay alive here. This is extremely important. Lands the parry. Well done. And now Clucky's coming in, reinforcing from behind. Excellent. Gonna actually dodge the kick. So Rippy finding himself in trouble up against the wall with Mo. Lucky's doing his best to peel for him, but I have to imagine Rippy's gonna find himself in the world of hurt right now. He's trying to
trying to help his buddy out, but he's just getting shredded over here. I did see that picture-in-picture E-Stars production. That was really a beautiful thing. I'd love to see it. As we say it, Rippy gets chopped down by Mo. Scorpion has rejoined the party, and with the guard break, they'll be able to get him a couple of top heavies, and he's down to 30% health. Make that 5% health. Really not where Scorpion wants to be. He wants to be just, living through these fights, trying to build some he absolutely just nothing in disengage. He is executed off. And Black Jack should go from being down to being up by nearly 300 points. And they're about to put TKS into breaking right here, right now.
It's such a prolonged fight on C, and for about half of it, TKS had control of B, but ultimately, inside of Black Jackals, they took control of B back, and then they went back to C repeatedly, over and over again, finally winning that fight, and the entire time, TKS was basically earning no points, which is why you see such a big point lead on Black Jackals after they finally closed the fight.
Black Jackals, they've got TKS breaking. This is going to be the team fight to define this match right here. Possibly it's going to define who's going to be winning the finals overall. But let's see. We're moving in here. Black Jackals have lost one. TKS, they remain alive for the time being. They have to win this fight. They have to win this fight and then continue to stay alive. Maybe grab a point that they can heal up on. Bucky's looking to go ahead and get some damage down from above, but it's Will Lin, the master of disaster, who, oh, they said Rippy's isolated. Get over here, Will Lin. Destroy his man. Bucky's looking to get the ledge, but he's not quite going to get it. He does get back, avoid the kick there, but moving in, it's Will Lin who's going to get the execute off. That's TKS down to 4 in breaking, and they just don't see a way back for them in this.
That was an incredibly important heal, as it looked as though Willen was going to get ledged there, and then TKS might have been able to take back point C, ultimately unbreak, but heal came through, made sure Willen didn't go down, and now just Black Jackals taking game number 1 despite such an early lead from TKS.
Yeah, like you said, you know, this is the end of the game. They know that they're not going to win this. Are they talking to each other? Are they talking about what went wrong, what they can do potentially in map number 2? Whatever the case is, this is going to be game number 1 going over to Black Jackals in this winner's final best of 3 series. TKS down 1 will regroup, but Black Jackals, they're a strong team. They could have had the lead the entire game. They did drop back a little bit, but they played tight, keep it together, and able to walk away with a win here in game number 1.
Yeah, man. Will Lin, 11-0 on the Shinobi, was playing so well the entire time. Mo was silenced early on in the game, but ultimately, as soon as it reached the mid-game, came back incredibly strong. It was just Team Killing Service doing their best to hold on to point C the entire game, but ultimately they were just giving up the rest of the map. I have to imagine that's where they went wrong. I think if you're TKS, you really want to talk about your early successes going into map number 2. You know, that's not necessarily the one they had to win. That was Black Jackal's pick. So Harbor, this is the one that they are very confident on, and if TKS can win anywhere, it's on the next map.
Black Jackals, they take their own map. Now it's TKS on Harbor, you say, and I don't know, man. If I'm TKS, I'm sweating a little bit right now.
I think they're sweating, but what you have to do, I think, going into a game number 2 after a loss like that is just talk about what you did right, you know? Talking about what you did wrong is important too, but I think it's very easy to get down on yourselves in these high-pressure situations. I think it's very important to talk about, hey, this is what we were doing right, more of this. You know, maybe here's where we slipped up a little bit. Maybe we triggered off revenge a few times that we didn't need to, making that fight on C last a little longer. But our early ganks were really good. Our early team fight was really good. Scorpion, keep up that isolation on Mo, and let's get back into it on Harbor.
Harbor is our second map of this series. Of course, TKS are on the back foot here, trying to look for a win to progress to the grand finals, or even have a chance to progress to the grand finals at this stage. Black Jackals have been a strong performer, especially in these 2v2 setups, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare up on Harbor against TKS, who have been notorious to be very good on this map.
Notoriously good on this map. I've said it before, if you guys are just joining, Harbor is definitely one of the most fun maps in the entire map pool. There's so many ways to get around the map. It's interesting.
Yeah, it looks as though we lost Enos there for a second, but going into Harbor, you know, we see TKS, they really like this 2v2 split. We've also seen this map played differently, though. It's possible that Black Jackals, knowing that they have the stronger team fight, are going to want to force maybe a 3-man rotation under C. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how this game starts. Kicking things off here, game number 2 of our winners finals, and this is very interesting. Yeah, we do see a 3-man rotation in onto the C point from Black Jackals. 2v2 that we predicted on the side of TKS, so it's going to be interesting to see how this fight plays out. It looks like TKS is deciding that they want to rotate in, but Black Jackals is matching them move for move.
Let's go, baby. This is what it's all about, and we're going to be fighting over on B. Not a lot of minis that you got to deal with here, and they're going to be fighting on the edge. To start things off is Will Lin, one of the most important characters for Black Jackals. And he's taking a lot of chunk damage. Mo back to some minions. Thinking about dropping back to heal. Repositioning to take down Wheat. Wheat, you can't allow him to connect like this. Wheat shoved back down the ramp as Clucky's moving forward. Can Clucky's peel? Or who do you want? You want Will Lin? It's like crazy because you get onto Will Lin and then he dashes back 20 meters. You have to immediately just go ahead and retarget. Will Lin with his ally down. We'll be going 1v1 with Wheat.
Doing such a good job of avoiding the damage there, and they're just deciding to back him off. Light parry on the Cluckies. The heavy's gonna come through, but that's not gonna be enough. Light parry right back at you. Cluckies is going to get the kill here on Will Lin, unless someone comes in and disrupts his execution. But Kusada Mago is here fighting up against Scorpion and Rippy.
Rippy, full health, taking a little top damage from Mo. Mo looking for the guard break, but she's going to be countered off. Rippy wants to do a little damage on Kusada Mago, who is focused on his ally. Clucky's not really able to confirm any damage, potentially can actually, I'd love to see it going the other way, where you have Clucky's trying to peel as Rippy's the one getting damage off, but it's a little awkward here as Rippy trying to do some healing for Clucky's, and both low health. I'd love to be a fly in their room right now, just listening to exactly what they're saying. Oh, a nice dodge on the headbutt, but he will be caught. Kusada Mago closing that one out. Black Jackal controlling C, controlling B, and thus far controlling the series.
Yeah, I have to question the rotation there from Cluckies. They won that fight in middle, and I understand why he wanted to get onto C point, but Mo had full health, and they never retook B. So this entire time, it has been TKS losing out on points to Black Jackals, controlling middle and C this entire time. We're seeing exactly why teams tend to prioritize that C point, because of the fact that C can get such a big point advantage.
Well, C being the focal point, but of course you're occasionally going to find yourself fighting over A, and that's where TKS find themselves right now. It's Cluckies and Scorpion. Scorpion quiet in the series thus far, and the question is Black Jackals who had told him to be quiet, or is it him just not having that connection just yet? Rippy doing a little ninja moves over here, trying to just get the kick on Kusada Mago, who is currently out of stamina. Clucky's up against the wall. Kusada Mago dropping down low. Scorpion incredibly low, but he just keeps throwing blows. Mo maybe gonna go down. Scorpion goes down to Mo.
Yeah, it looked like Scorpion wanted that big external, but he kept on getting interrupted by lights, unfortunately. He doesn't have armor on those unblockable weapons, I don't believe. So ultimately not able to close out that fight, and Black Jackals still prolonging this fight onto A, as Scorpion's now trying to flood back into the point. It looks like Wheat was able to close that out for Team TKS. So at the very least, holding on to point A. And now you see with point B, they have even things out, but this could be easily split. The hard point lead still slightly in favor of Black Jackal.
How dare you, TKS are having the hardest point lead of their life right now. I'm just kidding. It's B. It's Will Lin. He's respawned. He's back out. The Cluckies and immediately just dishing out massive damage. Will Lin, elusive, connecting onto Cluckies here. Cluckies guard broken up. He's vulnerable. He's taking a lot of damage down below 50% health with the backflip. Will Lin able to reposition, regroup himself. Looks like they want Scorpion, but Scorpion's going to go ahead and drop back. Nice job between Cluckies and Scorpion. Just kind of dodging out damage back and forth, repositioning, juggling his damage. Look at the 1-2 over the top, and they got him! They connected onto Will Lin. It looks like he'll try to get the execution, but that is stalled off by Jafu. Jafu's probably going to pay for this with his life, but at least he did stall out that execution.
This entire time they've been boosting A, so TKS coming back here, this was kind of how Black Jackals took the first game, making sure that they're kind of keeping the points in mind in the midst of all this intense fighting. And it's TKS right now really making sure they're boosting A, they have control of B, and they are back into the run.
Black Jackals sitting down on C, just looking at the fish jumping, and why not? It's pretty beautiful. You can see and take this high point over this hard map. Shout out to these map designers. Just once again, I'm gonna say it. I love it. It's such a beautiful game. Wheat, 60% health. He's gonna swing for the fences. Kusada Mago will instantly get his stamina recovered there as he takes down Clucky's B. It's getting messy. Mo comes over the top with a heavy. He's going to throw over the top again, but predicted. I thought the parry was there. It's not going to be happening today. Mo able to take such an important kill with less than 100 point lead towards TKS. A contested, C in favor of Black Jackals, and it looks like Black Jackals is going to be taking point B here as well as Scorpion falls.
Falls, and you heard Bainwood in the initial audio talking about how unreactive that Raider offense is, with basically, you know, no revenge on him and one bit of life. There's not much that Scorpion can do in that situation. So ultimately falling down. Looks as though someone jumped down from the top there to not have to respawn. But Mo now moving in onto the C point, heavily contested by TKS. Now this is a very, very important fight as we look up at the points. Everything basically even with Blackjack controlling B. So if TKS is able to take this fight, this is going to be them taking a stranglehold of the game. But just as I say that, Rippy comes out or gets absolutely zoned out of the fight by Mo, who's going to get that execution, and his Black Jackal's taking a very convincing victory.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Black Jackals looked so good in game one. A lot of people thinking they're the favorite overall for these finals. That was in favor of Team Killing Service in a 3 versus 3, and they just got outplayed. But quick, as quickly as they get outplayed, they regroup, have B, contest on A, and they very well could tie up this series. But Black Jackals, my goodness, I love the way they're approaching these fights, potentially making a new fan over here. Rippy, Dippy, Do, you cannot afford to go down like you did in the last fight so quickly. Willin, nice parry off. He's trying to get on to Wheat, who's pinned up against the wall, but a nice dodge out by Wheat on the side, continually buying time. Willin will eventually be able to get the kill, but Rippy, he wants on to Willin. Willin will reposition out of the way. You got to deal with this Raider if you want to get over to the Shobi. It's not going to happen. Mo, you run over the top. Mo takes Scorpion. Mo takes Rippy down. Black Jackal shakes the fight. It looks like this is it. They're going to be able to shove Pluckies and get the kill. Wow! Black Jackals, they take A, C, and B when it mattered most. And ladies and gentlemen, this looks like Black Jackals is about to close Team Killing Service out in style.
I don't know who made the call, but man, that was such a fast rotation by the entirety of Black Jackals onto the A point. Noticing that TKS was low. Worst possible timing to get ledge there, unfortunately for Cluck. He's going to find himself out of the rest of this fight. It was TKS, though, that was going to take back B. They are in a position where if someone's able to get pulled out of the fight, they might be able to unbreak on play. You know, perhaps Ricky might go and try and win that play, but it looks as though he's just going to stay here and attempt to make his last stand. Kusatamago finds himself incredibly low. This could be the fight that they're looking for. Rippy zoned out of the fight now. Gonna get guard broken out of that double dash. Unfortunately, Scorpion, the last one left here, is ultimately going to go down, and that is Black Jackals taking a convincing 2-0. TKS had moments where they shined in this series, but ultimately did not win a game. Black Jackals moving on to your grand final.
Fantastic. Black Jackals absolutely dominating there, and whew, that was something like 2 and 12 on Mo there. Goodness gracious. 12 takedowns, 2 deaths. Oh, what do you do against that guy? I mean, there's a little bit of a question here. You know, Team Killing Service, how much of a fight are they going to be able to put up? Will we see them? They look absolutely great, but Black Jackals is, I mean, I think you said it before the series, so Hinky. We're going to find out if these guys are just untouchable and if they fight for second, or if there's any hope for somebody to take them down. That hope is diminishing. That was an absolute shuddering victory coming out for the Black Jackals. I got the chills here in a few minutes. How you feeling on that one? That was a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, I mean, Black Jackals, they just look so dominant, and there were times where, you know, BTS were able to, it felt like, hey, you continue doing this, you might have a chance to win this game, but immediately just ripped back and taken from them. And, you know, credit to Mo, he's playing well. He had the most kills there, the most renown on his team. But once again, it's Will Lin that's standing out for me. With 9 kills, it's like the team's, he's getting so much done that you have to constantly worry about what he's doing, where he is, that the rest of his team can pretty much just do what they want.
I'm a simple man, you know. I look at kill, death. That's all that mattered to me. Objectives, no matter to me. Play game, no matter to me. How about you, Sohiki? What were you thinking about that one? And after that, we'll walk you through on the replay.
It looked like TKS had an idea of what they wanted to do early on Overwatch. We're going to be taking a look right here. They had some success when they were able to zone Mo out of these fights. You saw exactly what can happen when you just let Mo run rampant. He goes 12-2 and absolutely demolishes. So understandable why they targeted this player specifically, to try and make sure he couldn't have an impact. And they had success early on, but ultimately, as soon as the fights kind of broke down a little bit, this C fight lasted forever. And it was Black Jackals making sure that they were paying attention to the point lead, making sure they had control of A and B the entire time. So when this fight on C ultimately went their way, it was really hard for the side of TKS to get back into the game, just because they were so far behind in points. Game number 2, this was TKS's comfort pick on Harbor. And once again, early on, they were looking pretty strong here. But, I mean, what do you even say? Black Jackals, like, every time you think that they might be down, they make these really crazy calls that, like, the rotations come in so fast. It was the end of the game specifically, I remember, that the points were pretty even, but it was 2 players pretty low on the side of A, on the side of TKS, and then all of a sudden, the entirety of Black Jackal's team is just there. They force the breaking with Clucky's off of the ledge. He's not even able to join the breaking fight, and you're seeing that right here. The kick off from Will Lin, not even bothering to parry that heavy. And that is going to do it. Black Jackals moving on to your grand finals. Well played.
Woo! Black Jackals so dominant in both of their series here today. They look like the team to beat, but we'll need to find out who can possibly stand up to these Goliaths of For Honor in our lower bracket final. It's going to be Team Killing Service versus On Flask. 2 teams that we have seen do exceptionally well, and we'll have to see how they now fare again. And we've seen this before. Team Killing Service pulled out that one, but it was one of our closer matches here. On Flask, now we'll have to see if they can survive and thrive. No Warlord this time, though, so maybe everything will be okay. Whoa, what do I know? Could be anything, gentlemen. Very frightening. Anyway, we asked people, what was the toughest challenge that they might be able to face here at the tournament? And what team was the scariest? So perhaps now, I know what it is now that we're at the tournament. Well, let's see what they had to say before they got it.
Which roster are we the most afraid of? We're not really afraid of any roster, to be honest. But the one that will be the most challenging is Black Jackals. They're mechanically as good as us, and they're rotationally a little better than us. So we're gonna have to play really well to beat them.
Well, the team that poses the biggest challenge to our team is Black Jackals. It's probably one of the only teams that we're struggling a lot to beat in strength. The matches are the toughest one by far. But I would say that every team in the tournament can be a tough match, because every team is playing in a different way in the Zone 3-way, and makes it different by each team.
The opponent's roster that I think is going to pose the biggest challenge is BTU. They're new kids on the block. We haven't really seen much of them. A lot of them are from console, and I guess all in all, it's just going to be a bit of a rude awakening. We kind of look down on console, but I think they're gonna bring the heat.
The teams that our team worries about the most, I mean, I would say TKS and BTU, they're both pretty even. I think that they're definitely going to put up a challenge. They've gotten better. Like, these teams have definitely gotten better. I'm surprised. BTU has been putting in a bunch of practice. They got all 4 players are really good. Same with TKS. They're all solid players, and I think that this tourney we're gonna have, it's going to be good. I feel like they're probably going to be close games, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. They're both teams are great.
So humble coming out from Mo there. I have to say though, Tetsu with the milk. I mean, that was the most aggressive maneuver I have ever seen. He took a moment to drink that milk, look directly at the camera, and talk some mad shit. Now, granted, they were eliminated first. That's the end of that statement. But anyway, he can have all the milk he wants now as he watches the rest of the Dominion series. And we are getting ready for the rest of this game. We are going to see now the losers finals coming up. It's gonna be pretty hype. We're going to get into it very soon. But Humanist, oh, there we go. Don't speak, Humanist. Do not speak right now. Don't forget, guys. Exclamation point, OF or TKS to let us know who you guys think is going to win. Who will have to face off against the deadly Black Jackals in the grand finals, and who will be going home. I would just like to remind you guys, this is the final losers final that we will see this season in the Division Series. So it is all on the line. It is all as hype as humanly possible. Now, Humanist, now you may go. Please regale us with your
I was just gonna say, if you type OF in the chat, you will be instantly banned. Slacks didn't warn you. Only TPS is currently allowed in the chat, so don't do that. We want to retain our viewership, so just don't make any mistakes, guys.
Good God, this man just lies every time I work with him. I don't know if he has some kind of mental condition or something. He's actually psychotic. You know.
I just want to say, you know that glass of milk was warm too, and that's the thing that really gets me. That's...
You know it was not.
You don't drink your milk warm?
No, not a fan of
man.
the warm milk. I
think
like a
it's-
nice cold glass of milk if I'm going with that. Alright, getting a look at the map draft now. TKS choosing Overwatch. You know, they did come out strong against Black Jackals on this map, even though it didn't ultimately go their way, so I'm not surprised to see him picking it first. Sanctuary Bridge for On Flask. Also not a surprise. We saw that they really favor their team fight, and of course TKS with this map pick advantage is going to end it if they get to game number 3 on their comfort pick of Harbor. Really what we expect from these two teams. We saw them face off earlier in the day. They were probably two of the closest, or the closest series we maybe even witnessed this entire Dominion season. So I'm looking forward to another close one, and we'll see who's going to the final.
So we start off this loser series with Overwatch, a staple map in the Dominion series here today. But of course, Team Killing Service very much favors this map in the essence that it is a 2v2 map, and they have been performing exceptionally well when it comes down to it. They do favor these sort of maps, especially last time around when we saw them kind of clutch it out on a Harbor. And what they need to do and make sure this time around is not allow On Flask to gang up on them and look for these team fights. When On Flask gets into team fights, they do look like the better side. So Team Killing Service really needs to avoid them at all costs.
Absolutely. But what you should not avoid at all cost, in my best throw I've ever done, is your own reward, my friends. Now, don't forget, you gotta be answering questions. You've been watching hopefully all day. If you're just tuning in, you still have time to pick up some 6 rewards here. Please go to the Twitter. I'm literally begging you, please open up your extension and answer those beautiful questions to get your points. Your boy over here, number 362, I'm out! I got my 80 points, but there's still time for you to get the Fairy Tale Winter Battle outfit. That's right, you can craft your own tails and get this beautiful dress here. I'm not sure how they had those dyes back then in Samurai time. I think that must have been very rare, but who gave it to them? The Ice Fairies, of course. Read a book for once in your life, so Hinky, and you'll know that the Ice Fairies were the ones that provided those beautiful blue dyes and those beautiful ornaments. What kind of sword is that? I'm not a big enough of a nerd to know, but the fairies surely do. And finally, the Sword of Ice effect. I don't see a sword, but I do see, oh, there it is. I do see ice, and there it is. Ice, gun, sword, what more could you ask for? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lower bracket finals. A lot of you guys say the losers finals. I'm not about that, all right? Everyone here is a winner except for the guys who lose. Now, here we go. Team Killing Service On Blast. Chat has voted On Blast. What was once their boys, their proud boys. The flag was thrown out like the milk. It is gone, though. Humanist, can you believe this? This betrayal, I would say, from chat.
It's really just unbelievable, but you know, anyone's gonna stab you in the back, it's gonna be Twitch chat, so no surprise there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see this. You know, I wouldn't imagine Twitch chat would ever pick what they would consider to be an underdog. You know, a few brave souls, perhaps, but definitely not surprised to see it going this way. That being said, I would be surprised if this was not a close series. It's going to be awesome. Let's get
Well, let's get to it indeed. We will see who is correct here. The analysts, the chat, the players, or myself. Team Killing Service, they are going to face off against the man, the myth, the legend, the drinkers themselves, the Oz Flash. You better not be near that flash, or you're going to get burned. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. The lower final. Take it away.
The time is here. And as Slack said, these teams have everything on the line. This is the loser bracket finals. Slack, you were saying it before, now you're calling it the lower bracket finals. Whatever. We know what it really is. And the only thing I can say is, Sohinki, that I know for sure, whoever wins this is going to the grand finals and locking in a guaranteed $5,000 for themselves. So this is a very big series.
Yeah, our team's basically playing for $1,500 right now. As we see this 3v3 breaking out onto the C point. See who gets this early advantage here as Willen finds himself getting guard broken early on. Trying so strong in the previous series, but already finding himself pretty low. Now it's breaking out just into a total 4v4. I think both players on middle deciding to rotate. We see Vayne Noir coming in, trying to get this early rotation. Give his team the advantage here as well. So much action going on at point. Fusion finding himself low as well. So the Jean who on the side of Monflask gets taken out. Really well done there. Rippy getting the heavy and lands the guard break. Nice. TKS finds themselves an early advantage, but they are very low. Vayne here on the side of Monflask is very healthy. So revenge was triggered off. That's going to be a problem. Lucky's gets the revenge. He's going to get the knockdown into the heavy. That's, wow, that is 0 to death. That is an early triple cap. TKS on life, but ultimately they clutch it out.
Man, so Hinky, you're doing all the work. This is great. I didn't have to say anything. But what I'm thinking here the whole time is, Vivinaz said TKS had to simply avoid team fights at all costs, and there's no way to avoid the team fight on C. Dominated.
That was a really good performance. Honestly, it could have gone anyone's way. It was the Jean who, Willem, on the side of Monflask that really got caught out. That ended up spelling the demise for that team fight. See if Monflask gets back on.
Fusion. Watch for Rippy. They're continuously, I'm seeing a lot of guard breaks landing onto Monflask. I don't know what the cause for that is necessarily. Willen looking like going to be the target, but Rippy moves in onto Fusion. He's going to go ahead and feint on in as looks like they may want to go ahead and take down Wheat here, but Wheat backs down the stairs, so you have to kind of deal with Rippy. Rippy gets knocked back, looking to get on the Fusion. It's not going to be happening. Will he's down, he's low, Will's chopped down. It looks like he just jumped right onto Fusion. Come on, just land one attack. He'll get the guard break, should be able to pick up Wheat here. Not sure if anybody else can rotate in to stop this.
Man, it was a little bit of a misstep from Monflask, but Rippy playing so well in that fight. He had the kick onto the JJ, making sure that he was able to hit that onto Fusion, and then target swapping the Sickle Rain onto Gothic Noir, making sure to take him out as well. So really well done closing that fight out. Rippy playing very strong here in game number 1.
So Hinky, you're beautiful and you have a big brain, but we have another beautiful big brain, our in-game analyst. That's Vivid Nas. And Nas, you said that TKS had to avoid team fights at all costs, yet here we are. What are you thinking about how this is playing out?
Yeah, I completely bite my tongue, and I just want to kind of piggyback on what Sahinki said there. Rippy is playing completely out of his mind. His ganking capabilities have been absolutely incredible, and just seeing the setup of how TKS have gone about the map, capturing both C and A, and even forcing members of on Flask to actually commit suicide on the minion wave just to get respawns because they have nowhere to go to heal up on any point.
Yeah, I actually I didn't catch some of that as far as them killing themselves, but that's a really good thing to go ahead and point out there, Bibinos. As we get right back into this, it's TKS on the back foot. They just lost the fight on C, and suddenly they lose the fight on A. And maybe when you're talking about team fights, it's the 2v2s that weren't doing so good for or maybe just the series of events that didn't quite go their way. Sometimes you don't land a couple attacks, get that parry off, and suddenly you're down 50% health. But whatever the case is, On Flask have pulled themselves back in. They are basically, I mean, nearly identical tied up of all. It's C and A being held by On Flask at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rippy couldn't survive the double caster's curse. It was myself first, and then Naz on top of it. Really cursing him into oblivion, was immediately eliminated out of that fight after we were both shouting out how well he's playing, but now Rippy coming back in strong. 2 players on the side of On Flask finding themselves very low, trying to use this bear trap to their advantage here, and as far as positioning goes, not triggering it off, surprisingly. Rippy able to find Fusion here with the guard break. Well done there. He's not going to be able to chase him into this bear trap, though, and that looks like it's finally triggered off. Fusion not long in this world. The GB is going to close out the kill. They get the execution. TKS coming back strong.
Yeah, get the execution. The fireworks are there. Cluckies, I thought he was going to die before Rippy could get here, but he stays alive. The headbutt into the sickle rain. Got the Gwark. He's going to try and get the kick there, but it's not going to land. Hello, this is my sickle. He's 1 light away. We'll go ahead and get that blocked off. Rippy eyeing Gothic more. He's gonna go ahead and just jump off the edge. You love to see it. Young Gravity chopped down 100 to 0.
100 to 0 there. Excellent gank, and I want to point out that was really good composure on the side of TKS, realizing the revenge was a little bit high there, ultimately forcing that ledge so that they wouldn't get the defender renown, but Rippy gets his tier 4 unlocked anyway. He's going to pop down that nail bomb, and that should secure that fight on the A point. Scorpion finds himself alone here, but it is Fusion that will eventually bleed out. That is going to be it. Actually, no, sorry, excuse me. Scorpion finding himself in a 2v2 scenario now as Clucky's coming back to this one.
Yeah, Clucky's coming back over, but TKS taking another one. Scorpion able to take down Willem. Important that Scorpion's getting some kills, getting some renown here. But, you know, the longer they fight, the more people are just flooding in. We do see this usually on C, but occasionally the fight does spill out onto A. And looks like right now On Flash said, look, we need to grab A because we need a point to heal on this map. That's more important than anything. Scorpion almost going down, but Revenge being triggered off. He's going to get the guard break, but not able to follow up. There's the follow-up. Gotham Wars chopped down as Scorpion able to seal the deal. Such an important kill, but it looked like he could have just dropped down there. Fusion into a 2v1. Clucky's is low, but once again, Willem has respawned and flooded his way back out onto the map. But ladies and gentlemen, look at the points. TKS has got On Flask breaking right now. On Flask has to win this fight. And Rippy just needs to survive, but he has got the barrier, he's got the shield, and he's going to be able to get 1 kill for himself. TKS doing exactly what they need to do here is On Flask on the back foot, down 3 versus 4. Gothic Noir trying to get the pickup, but Rippy not going to have it. Moving on in, looking for the kick. Gothic Noir looking to potentially apply some damage here, but he wants to pick up as well. It's definitely not going to happen with Scorpion joining the party. And you have one more member of On Flask that needs to get on in here.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the unbreak on B. They can't do it now, as you see TKS is above 1,100 points, but initially they went up the ladder, and instead of going for the unbreak, they decided to go for the res. It didn't end up working out for them. The reinforcements came in from Scorpion. Lucky's breaking onto the point now as well, and Young Gravity going to get absolutely... Oh no, that was actually Willem's tier 4, but the heal's going to come through, and it's just a matter of time before TKS takes this game number 1.
Woo! TKS! And, you know, it looks like Twitch chat was correct in this prediction, and my memory is not failing me. On Flask only have Young Gravity remaining, and he does get the ledge. Stop points for Young Gravity here, but they're going to have to, you know, recollect themselves here. Moving forward, hopefully they're talking about it and not getting tilted right now. This is seriously a stressful situation to be in, to be losing your first map in a best of 3, especially when you're in the loser's final.
And not exactly where you want to be, but I believe that was TKS's pick. So once again, just kind of holding serve. It's not over for On Blast just yet. We shouted out Rippy early on, and for good reason. We may have caster cursed him for 1 death, but he went 12-2, playing so well that entire game. And honestly, I think why they had such good control of the map, even when they lost A and C, it was Rippy coming in and making sure to land these ganks that TKS was just so good at. And that was how they really got control of the map back. TKS holding serve, now going on to on-flash.
Yeah, TKS would look good. I was just relying on my analyst to give me all the proper information. Vivina says TKS has to avoid the fight. They take the 4 versus 4, they dominate, and just hold on there. I literally don't know what to expect moving forward. So Hinky, you're gonna have to just do all the big running for me.
Well, it's getting late in the day, but the brain has been activated by lots and lots of caffeine, so I'm going to do my best here to activate the big brain for you. But on Flask, you know, they kept it pretty close. They actually were able to flip control at one point of that match, so not all is lost for them. You know, they may have dropped map number 1. They're going into their comfort pick now. We'll see if they can go into
I feel like this is pretty evenly matched team. Obviously, TKS winning that first fight convincingly, and then maybe a couple of those fights after, it's pretty easy to snip the deal when you win those fights. So, on Flask can definitely do it. We saw them doing the hype map earlier, and we went into that super double fight. I mean, on Flask had been anyone I've ever seen at 1600 total points. We have Vivina ready to talk about map number 2.
Look, I just want to set the record straight. We just saw caster character. We actually give him a caster stop. That's why the end of the going with all this too. But we are going into Sanctuary Bridge, one of the staple maps in the series. And of course, this map is all about the snowball potential. We see that initial fight that goes over on B and usually dictates the early pace of this game. Of course, we saw Team Killing Service put up some really good team fights, so even though they didn't select this map, they might have a good chance of taking this game 2 against On Flask, who are basically breaking and are looking to fight their way back.
On Flask in breaking for their tournament life, but they are on their comfort pick. They've been showing a really strong team fight all day, so I have to see them come out really strong here. That being said, their confidence might be a little shaken. They did lose that initial team fight last map on Overwatch, so hopefully they can regroup a little bit. Honestly, it's looking a little dire for them, but they are on their comfort pick. We'll see if they can come back, just hopefully regain their nerves and bring it home to the grand finals.
Ooh, Sanctuary Bridge. This is what it comes down to, huh? You know, I'm just hoping to see some nice ledges into the pits. Extra style bonus points if we see one of these gates fall and get like a little trap gate kill. Besides that, this is just so exciting because this is definitely one of the maps that goes into double breaking so frequently. Backcaps are there. There are gambles to be made. And right now, if you're on Flask, this is the time to put in everything that you know about this game and deliver it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded into the map. Minions are making their way out to point B as point C and A cap respectively. And we're gonna have this 3v turn into a 4 versus 4. This is everything. I mean, I'm not expecting TKS to necessarily win the early fight that they did on Overwatch, but I'm thinking this is there.
I would have to agree with you there, but it looks as though, other than Gravity, is the side of TKS is losing more life, but now We're zoned out of the fight a little bit by Cluckies. Able to get back in the show because Fusion came and peeled for him. Now Scorpion's finding himself in this little bit of 1v1 now. 2v2 play continuing. Young Gravity very low. Gonna try and find his way out of this fight, I would imagine. Doesn't manage to land that guard break onto Rippy. Weed actually gets an execution in the back line, and now on the last finding themselves losing this fight pretty convincingly. Definitely trying to get out of there, but he's not gonna make his way out. The minion's actually going to interrupt this long execution. So that being said, it's still going to be a long spawn timer. It was the Shinobi Vainware with the presence of mind to get back onto his home point to at least hold this down, so it's not a triple cap, but TKS coming out with the dominant win in that region.
I would like to see if For Honor could add, like if a minion interrupts your execution, you can turn around and just rip the minion in half. And just let her rage out on him. Let's talk about what's happening here. Gotham with his team dropping low. This is not too good. Scorpion can connect on the kill. There's a lot of interrupt, a lot of damage coming through. Gotham's gonna fall. That's Rippy taking the kill, and Scorpion hanging the sliver of health on the edge. Fusion wants to be able to get the kill, but Rippy continuously is there, getting the kick, landing the damage as well. Meat low as well. Scorpion's going to go ahead and score it out of here. I don't know what the play is for him, but A-Zone being contested is massive damage, firing him through. Now all I see is TKS outnumbering as I say that. Now we're going to have another one got the mark, make the rotate after he has respawned. This is the fight that just goes on and on and finally Honflask gets the advantage simply because they just respawning here next to their home point. Cluckies flushed out down the side and Fusion trolled out by the clip.
You know, you see the big golden M on Clucky's shield, and I gotta say, I'm loving it. He's playing so well today. Ultimately going to get caught, though, by Vayne Nuir here. But great job trying to get out of the zone there. You know, he came in late into that fight, and I was kind of questioning the rotation at first, but they were able to get that kill onto Willem because of that excellent gank. Good communication there. Ultimately, it is on Flask getting control of the map back, but Clucky's doing a good job of sort of stemming the bleeding and making sure it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, Rippy moving in feistily, but immediately taking a bit of chunk damage as you see Fusion constantly aware where the Shinobi is, and they get him knocked against the ledge, and a little 1-2 over the top. Rippy, you cannot allow that to happen, and he is going to be chunked down by Willem on the backside. Willem, a great kill, a nice read there by him to go ahead and just swap targets and to get onto him. Gothic Noir, what's the play? A lot of minion disruption going, and he wants to go ahead and dip back. You can tell he's feeling very uncomfortable. Scorpion happy about that. He'll take this time to go ahead and clear out B. They should be going back over to the side of TKS here any moment.
Great read there by Fusion. Gonna get the guard break as well off the dodge of Fusion. Clucky's going to get another big kill here, and they needed that one. Closing that out quickly. And now Gravity finds himself in a gank scenario here. Gonna have to play out of his mind if he doesn't want to give up control of the entire map, but that is going to be the Shinobi gank coming through. They trigger off the revenge a little bit. I actually thought that second guard break landed for a second, which would have been a disaster for Rippy, but ultimately just going to use this revenge to get out of the fight as TKS takes control of the map.
Yeah, that was a really nice gank there by TKS, and right at the most opportune time. Up 700 to 450 points of Onflask. Onflask, you got to be talking on the mic right now. This is not the time to be quiet. This is not the time to be giving up and feeling sorry for yourself. You have to pull this back. You have to win this match if you're going to tie this series up and have a chance of going to the grand finals. Team Killing Service, they can smell victory in the air, but Wheat, he's incredibly low. Rippy, you don't want to let Wheat fall. Get in there. Slice you, dice you. Goth Noir looking for the kick. He's not going to land it. Rippy right in the thick of things. He's got a army of minions behind him. Scorpion able to take down Goth Noir. Scorpion spinning. Look at this beautiful waltz right here in the middle of this map. Look at how chaotic and just absolutely insane this is. But they continue to maintain their composure. Willem is up. He's going to drop down to his home point. As Scorpion slightly overextended, he can't really get back.
That was really good job by Gravity, making sure that he was able to save the life of, I believe it was the Shinobi trying to get out of the fight there. It might have been the JJ actually, but really nice peel there to minimize the damage that TKS was doing. And now today on Flask, this is their moment to get back and get control of the map here. That being said, Vayne Nuir in the back line, finding himself a little bit low, but the peel does come through. That being said, I don't know if I like the position there to get back up into the fight, but now Vayne Nuir going to back off and go heal. And now it's the side of TKS a little bit on the back. In now, going to get guard broken, but GG, no, actually, in this time, that's so gonna have revenge as well, so I have to imagine TKS is gonna be able to get back into the fight. They do land the guard break with Scorpion. Excellent timing there. Oh my gosh, that was heavy. Gonna land the guard break as well.
Scorpion! Unbelievable! He lands Gets guard break into a top heavy, right into another guard break, and he's still alive through all this after staying alive with revenge. This is exactly what TKS need to seal the deal here in game 2. It's tight, it's on a knife's edge. The TKS have the point lead right now. It's phenomenal plays like that from Scorpion that has got them this far into the Minion series. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are, 50 points away from TKS sealing the deal, taking this win against Onquest, putting themselves into the grand finals. $5 grand here. I can't believe how tight this is. Onquest cannot afford any mistakes, and Willem, he's chugged out. The sickle rain from above. Willem, one light, he's guard broken, he's dead. Rippy's showing it right now. Fusion trying to get the kill, but Rippy stays alive on Flasker and breaking one down. Scorpion lands another GB into the top. He's taking him down. What an absolute madman. TKS have advantage. And this is a numbers advantage as well. Looks like Onquest are on their last leg. And this last leg is about to get kicked in right at the knee.
What an incredible play from Rippy. So he lands the sickle rain there, and that is, wow, that's going to be the end there. But he landed the sickle rain. He could have closed it out with the light follow-up, but he saw that they were about to enter into breaking. So he literally did nothing. He stared him directly in the face, waited for the breaking to take over, and then landed that light attack to ultimately eliminate him from the game permanently. Such good veteran decision-making. TKS, you know, it was a very, very close, maybe even the closest series we saw in their first series today, but TKS coming out as the better team here in the lower bracket final.
Just absolutely insane. There's not a ton of kills. We saw games with over 20 kills, 13 kills, 15 kills, 9 kills, 10 kills. There's 6 kills for Cluckies, 7 for Scorpion, 7 for Rippy. We didn't even see a lot of these high-tier feats getting unlocked, but it was the way they played together. I think that's the best performance I've seen out of TKS from 50% of that Sanctuary Bridge match on through the end. They were playing so phenomenally. Scorpion really absolutely just came alive.
Yeah, Scorpion played super well, especially toward the end of that second game. But let's take a look at game number 1. This is where things started off strong. You know, you were calling out Naz quite a bit, that he was saying that they didn't want these team fights, but TKS came back. They must have been listening to the broadcast. They wanted to prove them wrong. Rippy playing so well this entire series, and that initial fight when TKS is away, they never really gave back control of this map. Onflask had one moment where they flipped things back into their control. TKS, they just came back with such veteran decision-making, and I mean, we've been saying it all day, but Rippy on this Shinobi, he just feels really at home. I believe he was playing their Shugoki before, so obviously they're opting to not go with that character, and Rippy definitely looks much more comfortable here as Assassin. That's game number 1 here. Young Gravity able to get that ledge at the end. Going into game number 2, TKS once again, these early team fight victories. They almost overstepped themselves. You know, we almost saw them pull a, I'll call it a set mix. I don't want to call him out too much, but I just remember his team always overextending on this map. But that being said, Lucky's had a really good job in an anti-gank scenario to make sure they didn't give back up too much of the map. And here's that play we were talking about at the end. Rippy noticing that they're going back into breaking, closing that kill out. TKS moving on to his grand final.
And here you can see the bracket, of course. Team Black Jackals and Team Killing Service will move on to your grand finals of North America here at the finals of the Dominion Series NA. Gentlemen, that is some misery that we saw right there. Yes, that's right, my friends. I have my own disgusting Viking flask that I took off a Viking. I actually filled this with gasoline, and we're going to light it on fire right now to celebrate on Flask. Gentlemen, they did it! They did it! Well, absolutely
I thought you got a new
there you go.
microphone for a second there.
The mic quality was laid down. Don't make fun of my really coffee. I've been practicing my Mizaru all day against my dog, just running at him, shoulder bashing him. Also, This is real chainmail, by the way. It's like 50 pounds. My poor dilapidated body can barely sit up right now. But you know who couldn't sit up in that series? Of course, our boys on Flash. Any final thoughts for them here before they exit out here?
No, I mean, I just want to give them credit for all the hard work that they put in. I mean, they're going to be walking away with, I think, $3,500 or something like that for competing here at the Grand Finals. A stellar team all around. I hope that we see them again. Don't give up. Don't be feeling too bad about yourself because this is year. You put yourself into the top 3 teams in all of North America. That's really credible.
And, you know, we did want to say, me cosplaying, I would love to be a part of the For Honor community. I feel like you're not a real For Honor player unless you cosplay as your favorite hero. We asked the pro players why they love the community, what they love the most about the community. So before we get into the grand finals, guys, we're here because of you. Let's hear what they say.
I'd say the thing that I find is most impactful, or what my favorite thing about the For Honor community is just kind of the brotherhood that it kind of brings everybody together. A lot of teams have kind of shifted, and I'd say there's 20 or so guys that have played in NA competitive, and we've all grown to become really good friends. We all hang out outside of scrims. We like to VC, we like to play other games, and I feel like I've made long-lasting friends, and I'm hoping to someday meet them in real life.
My favorite thing about the For Honor community, or more specifically the For Honor competitive community, is everyone that plays this game at eye level is passionate about it. A lot of passionate people already put time to improve, and I've received a lot of advices from multiple high level players that help me get a better player myself. And just overall, this game has really been a passion for me as well. Since I started playing it, I've been putting a lot of time, and it's been a really great time playing this game with everyone else.
The best thing about the For Honor community is that since it's a smaller game and a smaller competitive community, everyone knows each other. It makes it really fun to have a community of everyone who loves the game and always comes back. So yeah, I think that's what makes it pretty unique, and that's why I like the community.
What is it about the For Honor community that I like the most and keeps me coming back? Really, it's how helpful everybody's been. There's been people like Vayne Noir, who's helped every team I've been on since the beginning. Everybody, at least in the competitive community, has been very helpful and very nice and very good to work with.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the grand final of the Dominion Series, North America. We have been looking for the greatest team in North America. Don't forget, exclamation points on there for both of those teams, guys. But I'm just so excited. This has been a year in the making. We already have the map draft going. I mean, I could talk to you guys for hours, but so Hinky, talk to me about these maps.
Before I get into the maps, I just want to say excellent cosplays, Slacks. I'd really love to see what you could do with a Shaman or perhaps a Nusha cosplay, but maybe we'll save that for next Dominion series. And as we're going to look at this map draft, it is basically the same as last time, and I'm not surprised to see this. You know, TKS, they have to be saying to themselves, hey, you know, even though it was a 2-0, we didn't lose by that much on either map, so they're just going to run it back. Overwatch, first map, for game number 1, Harbor, their comfort pick for game number 2. And if it gets that far, of course, Black Jackals did pick Sanctuary Bridge last time as well. They seem to really believe that they just have the edge in team fighting. And we'll see if we even get that far, or if it's a swift 2-0 like last time.
For potentially the last time today, if we don't get a bracket reset, we are seeing Overwatch as our first map. After the last series, I feel like Team Killing Servers don't feel as bad as this map being selected by the Black Jackals. They did put in a pretty stellar performance against Onflash. Even though, I know you called me out multiple times, I did say for them to avoid the team fights. They played absolutely amazingly, but I feel like when Rippy shines, you see those ganks being on point. I feel very much TKS can take this if they have the setup done properly.
A very bold prediction. TKS even having a chance against these guys that we have seen absolutely dominating so far. But you know who makes bold predictions all the time? Twitch chat. Let's see what you guys voted on very shortly. It looks like a 50-50 for now, but I'm sure. Whoa, that will probably change as soon as humanists start. Yeah, there we go. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
Twitch, you're wrong. It's gonna be Black Jackals. It's gonna be a 2-0. It's gonna happen fast. Before you can blink your eyes, before Slacks could get this helmet off, it's gonna be Black Jackals taking this grand finals.
Oh man, I mean, surely they're the favorites, but Team Killing Service, they've already got a lot of information about these guys, right? So Hinky, they already lost to him once.
You know, people talk about sort of the lower bracket advantage sometimes in that you're the one that gets to make the adjustment. Black Jackals, they won the match. All that they're thinking to themselves is, hey, let's just go out and try the same thing. But TKS are the ones that get to assess what they did wrong and make a change. So we'll see how things play out. I think in this game number 1, we'll see if they're able to change up their strategy or if it's Black Jackals. You know, I did pick them to win, so I have to say I do disagree with Twitch chat here a little bit. I think Black Jackals are probably going to take this, but I wouldn't be surprised to see TKS make this a little bit more competitive.
All right, guys. Well, it's about time for us to go to our grand final. Well, I know that Griffin was a lawbringer, not a warden, but you know, I will have to quote him here. Show yourself, Black Jackals versus our boys Team Killing Service. Welcome to the grand finals of North America. Let's bring them out and let's see some bloodshed.
Woo! This is what it all comes down to here at the end. Black Jackals versus Team Killing Service in our grand final, best of 3 for the Dominion Series in North America. So, Hinky, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be casting here with you all the way into this grand final. And just insane that we got here so fast. I want this to be a full reset into 2 best of 3s because, you know, as much as I said Black Jackals might just give us the 2-0 here, I don't want this to end.
I don't want it to end either, my friend. It has been an absolute pleasure. The grand finals of the grand finals. Interesting rotations here from Rippy and Lucky's already to start things off. Trying to turn this into a 2v1 in middle, and then Scorpion rotating in to back up. So they're actually turning this into a 3v2. Getting a little bit of an early advantage here. Already capped B. It looks as though Black Jackals might have been trying to cap A at the start. And wow, Bucky's going to get caught out here from Mo, though. You're not getting away from his son. Will in now, trying to pressure Griffy, and Mo gets the guard break. That is going to be that. Black Jackals taking an early advantage.
Yeah, you know what I'm seeing there is Black Jackals playing with no fear, and TKS feel like they're playing sweet defensively. Clucky's had 30% health and tried to run away instead of just standing his ground. He gets executed from behind, and now TKS, you know, they haven't lost anything just yet, but they feel like they're on the back foot for sure. And as I say, the Scorpion, just a sliver of health, turns around to find surrounded by 3 members of the Black Jackals. The Black Jackals in here like a pack of hyenas, feeding the corpses of Team Killing Service. This is our first map in the best of 3 grand final, and anything could happen. Cluckies playing this Warlord, and the only player to do it in the finals here today for Europe and North America. We got to give a lot of credit to Cluckies again. So they're able to find 1 kill, make it 2. Kusatamago goes down, Mo dropping as well. Rippy getting both of the kills. Great to see him going onto the Shinobi, and with that, he's quickly right back over into B as TKS on point and making these quick rotations.
To say this is kind of the reverse of what happened in the first series. You know, it was TKS with the early control of C, and then Black Jackals off of the respawns prolonging that fight and ultimately taking it. But it was the exact opposite here. The respawns came in. Cluckies, they accidentally went for that long execution that cost them a lot of life on the side of Black Jackals. I believe it was Mo. Cluckies able to come in with Rippy, retake control of C, and now TKS looking to take a stranglehold on this game as this mid fight.
Mid-fight breaking out. Super important that you're not throwing anything away here. You got to be super careful about how you're looking to apply damage, because if you leave yourself open, you can get 100 to 0. These professional players, they know all the combos to throw. Kusatamago eating a couple of heavies, rethinks things. He's going to go ahead and drop back there. Rippy taking Will Lin down. And now it's Mo left to his own devices, and that's going to be the heavy over the top. Rippy able to get another one. Rippy is on fire, and when Rippy's been going hard, we've been seeing TKS doing incredibly well. Oh, nice headbutt there. Attempt for Lucky's in there to peel. Lucky's knocked back. And looks like Kasatamago taking down Scorpion. The Scorpion takes down Jafu. This one is just back and forth. Nobody running away with it early. And this is exactly what you'd expect to see here in the first game of our grand final.
I can't hate on the decision too much for Cluckies to go up and try and back up Scorpion on A, but ultimately this C and B control has been working out for them, and now it just felt like a little bit of a throw as Rippy's finding himself 1v1 against Mo here. Already chopped down to about a third of his life. Scorpion's going to come in off of the respawn and hopefully allow Rippy to heal on C, but nothing doing. Will Lin chasing down along with Ravi here. Sorry, not Ravi. Will Lin ultimately going to get the kill there.
I was going to say, gravity is always a factor, but maybe not so much here. This Jafu with Cluckies right down to the Will's nice view for the cameraman to go and show us where all that action's happening. Kasatamago flexing, feinting onto Wheat. Wheat with a little bit of a dodge back there, rolling, repositioning, biding his time. B capped by TKS, A and C contested. Wheat just waiting for Rippy to get on target from behind. Guard break there. Does leave Rippy open for a second, but able to recover. Kasatamago buying a lot of time over here. I mean, at some point you have to try and apply a bit of damage. They do get the disrupt, but Wheat almost going down to Kasatamago, able to connect with a heavy over here. Will he throw the attack? No, disrupted. Will he come over the top with a heavy? Can't quite get it. He's out of stamina. Finally will get it. Gonna get the execution and the fireworks as well.
That was actually a pretty smart decision to let that heavy rip through because I think he was probably expecting the GG there. Ultimately why he got hit. Rippy now coming into backup A because they were able to intercept that fight. Lucky's finding himself really low. Excellent play there from Will Lin, keeping himself alive, but ultimately it's a matter of time. Jafu out of stamina, doing his best. Gonna get guard broken. Sickle Ring comes through into the GB, but there's Mo coming in, backing it up now. This fight's pretty even. Lucky zoned out of the fight is going to get killed by Mo. Now Ricky's just gonna stall for time. TKS though, just about a 200-point lead even without beat control. So even if this fight doesn't quite go their way, we're doing a good enough job that I think that they're gonna hold on to see maintain this push.
I'll see if they can maintain the point control as Rippy eats a bunch of damage coming in. Will Lin comboing up over here with Mo to go ahead and take him down. And, but give us a second. We could bring in Vivinaz to talk about what's going on here. TKS, I called you out a little bit before what you said about TKS and avoiding team fights. What do you think they're doing here that's working so well, find themselves almost 300 points above Black Jackals?
I think it was just the patience that they're playing with. They've been super patient. I think Tamiki alluded to earlier. They didn't very much go for that C and B control. And they very much steadfast. The only time they slipped up is when Lucky kind of decided to go out and Scorpion when he took A, and all of a sudden things started falling apart. But as soon as they kind of went back to that C and B control, you do see them very much always winning out on these fights around those areas.
Makes sense to me, and as you say that, Vivinaz, we see Cluckies and Rippy chunking down on this B point, taking two members of Black Jackals down. And I gotta say, Wheat, there's Rippy getting the nice execution. It's funny with the easy cape there, Rippy, indeed, finding that one easy. I think Wheat's having a hell of a game here. So, Hinky, what do you think?
Wheat playing really well, and I have to say, he's played all right all day, but he's never been the standout player. It's very interesting to see the Raider with that stalwart banner as opposed to rocking the blast, but obviously it's something that they've worked out in the team fights. But Rippy, of course, we've been shouting him out all day. He's done so well this game with the rotations. Obviously, that's one of the biggest strengths of the Shinobis is how fast he can rotate. And it looks as though TKS in this breaking scenario making a statement, taking game number 1.
TKS. Ladies and gentlemen, very welcome to see TKS come in here after caster curse Black Jackals. Black Jackals, this is their first loss on the day, is it not?
I do believe you're correct. TKS, this is not their map. This was the map that Black Jackals picked, and now they get to go into Harbor. This is exactly what we talked about in the first series. Where if they're able to take Black Jackals' map, they have a lot of confidence going into their comfort pick, and TKS has to be feeling pretty good about that right now. And trying to get this grand finals reset.
Yeah, definitely got that feeling really good. And you know, it's interesting to see Wheat with only 4 kills, but just maybe it was the use of these heavies, the zones. Things were chaotic down in that B point, and really everyone putting it together for team killing service. You love to see it here in the grand finals that it's, you know, not going to be a 2-0 for Black Jackals, no matter case, but we're going to be moving forward here.
Moving forward, and I also just wanted to shout out Cluckies. You know, we're talking about Rippy